Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am finishing the last installment of my planet series with Pluto. So I'm going to get my light box out and we are going to get started. So for transferring the image from the sketchbook onto a piece of expressive blending card, I am using a light box that I bought off of Amazon years ago for like 15 bucks and a Prismacolor Col-Erase colored pencil in the shade pink, which it's a little hard to see on camera, which is why there's only a small clip of this, but it is perfect for lightly transferring an image over. Okay, so we are done with the sketch. Let me get the blinds open. There we are, our sketch. Now I am gonna go in and I'm going to ink this with my Micron, and then we will be back for color. All right, we have our line art. I've got to let it sit and dry a little bit, and then we will get to coloring. But for now, I'm going to test some markers. Okay, you're stuck with voice over me now for the duration of the video. I kind of speed through this process because I think it's first off, I left it in because I think it's very interesting to kind of watch and see as I go through colors and test the colors. They are based off of this NASA's image of Pluto, which I find very interesting. I think that Pluto has had the most interesting color scheme so far, and I am so excited for you to see the finished product. But I use then the sketch in the notebook to test out colors. I usually only start with half of it, that way in case if I don't like it, I can go back and I have half again. Just kind of use it as like a thumbnail. It's helped me a lot. I've been a lot happier with my coloring since I've done this. I hope to include more sketching in later videos. It's something that I'm not the most comfortable with, but I will get better. Anyway, I do the bodice of all the characters in the kind of shape and pattern, like the color patterns of the planets themselves. So that was me kind of practicing how I would want it to look. And there is all the colors that I decided to choose. Okay, now that I have my rough color scheme, it's time to start. Whenever I color characters, I almost always start with the skin tone. I don't know why, I just think it's a really great base, and then you can kind of build on top of it, and it's one of my favorite things to color, and so I do it first. You know, best for last? I say best for first. It's because I can get kind of impatient, and so if I don't do the super fun part first, I won't end up coloring. But I tried to do something different there with leaving some highlights, but with the color combination I was using, it just didn't quite work out. So I ended up coloring over that, which is fine. But I started with a base coat of, I think it was like a hazelnut color. And then I toned it down with this like grayish brown. I just liked it, just like made it darker but didn't add too much more color to it. And then I used this lipstick natural. Ugh, how could I get that wrong? For the blushies on her cheeks and kind of around her nose area, that's mandatory. Didn't you know? Anyway, I wanted to touch on some issues while I have your attention. Things for me and my business are going to be changing a little bit for the better. I don't know if you've heard me talk about in the past, but I used to do a lot of craft fairs. That was kind of the second thing I did on top of my online shop. I would do craft fairs in person and whatnot, and I have decided to be done with those for the foreseeable future. I may pick up once in a while, do something fun like locally. I know there's a smaller craft fair that I've done since it started, and I'm not sure I'll be able to give it up because I love going to that. I know a lot of the people there, so I'll probably continue to do stuff like that, but it's just, they're kind of crazy. The most popular ones, so the ones you'd make your most money at, are during the holiday season, which is already a busy time for me with online orders and stuff, and not to mention just personal life, there's lots of places to be, things to do, things to buy. It's just a lot, and being so busy with craft fairs, when I do craft fairs, I not only sell my art and stickers and whatnot, but I also sell jewelry that I make, which I love making the jewelry. It's very fun, and there is still going to be jewelry on my shop and whatnot. It's also, but like, to get it ready for a craft fair, you just have to buy so many supplies and just make so much of it, and you never know. They're so unpredictable, I feel like, with sales. I went to one recently, and that's kind of what made me decide to quit. It was huge. It was in a large convention center. There was supposed to be, like 1,000 people showing up, and I did worse at that than I did at a small town one that only had a couple hundred people come through, and I had spent hundreds of dollars getting ready for it, because you can't walk into a craft fair that is supposed to have many people and not have enough inventory. So I just realized they're too unpredictable, and my business needs more capital. I need more money in the account and less money in inventory. So that is a few reasons why I've decided to quit craft fairs. Like I said, that being said, that doesn't mean I'm completely done, and there's still tons of content for me in the things that I do with my shop online and all that fun stuff. So a little plug, if you want to see more about like the business side of things, I do post more about that on my TikTok account, which is all linked below. I'm pretty sure it's just abigailmariearts as well though, but feel free to look me up. I do post more often over there. But now back to the artwork. I had so much fun with this character, this like dress thing. I don't know exactly what I was doing with it, but you know what? She is a literal embodiment of a planet, so her dress can do whatever it is that she wants it to do. It's beautiful. She's beautiful. I loved these colors. These were probably my favorite colors. I was a little scared at first, like the blue and the orange, like the blue and red and whatever, but like out of all of the planets, these are definitely my favorite. Like, she turned out the best, I think. I made her kind of small in childlike. If you watch the other videos, she definitely is smaller in stature than the rest of them because Pluto is so teeny tiny. But I gave her a more serious demeanor, even though she's a little more childlike looking, because obviously Pluto is upset about not being considered a planet anymore. What gives? I kind of gave her kind of sharp and spooky accessories, and the sickle may be a little leaning into it too much, or the scythe, I should say. But that's supposed to be more of a reference to the aesthetic of Pluto, the Roman god of wealth and death. So, Hades, if you're more familiar with the Greek mythology, very similar. The colors, the dark red and orangish, are pulled from the image of Pluto from NASA. Even though like there's not as much red in the photo, I do choose to have it as one of the primary colors. I do tone it down a bit with having that whitish blue, but I did use that as like my main color here because I thought it felt like darker and more sinister. The light blues, again, are also from this image from NASA. I didn't use as much like directly, but I do love the contrast it gives and the pops of color. Like, instead of introducing a silver or a gold, I really enjoyed sticking with the blue. And so for my art process, I always start with sketching in pencil, just kind of any pencil, and then I like to keep it light and free flowing, and I'll like draw and erase because I like to hash out silhouettes and like kind of draw on and erase clothes to make sure everything fits how I want it to be. And then, as you saw, I transfer it with a pink pencil onto a piece of paper more suited to markers. And then I line with a Micron or Copic Multiliner, and then I use the sketch to test and swatch colors. Then I color it with markers, always starting with the skin, and then the base colors and shadows. Now you can see me doing the next step, which is adding pencil details and shading. I love adding more shading with this purple pencil because I like the way that the pencil sits on top of the color of the markers versus blending into it like other markers do. And finally, I add white highlights and details with pencils, or more commonly, a white gel pen. So, I hope you enjoy this piece as much as I do. There's still a little time left, so you can listen to me chat some more. But I started to do this thing where I was a little less afraid to use the colored pencil, and I used a lot of it to help push the shadows and stuff with this. And even though it's not super dark, it does almost like give a haze to like the shadows, the things that are behind her, and I loved it, and I have vowed to do that with more things. And I think the thing that I love and hate about doing series like this is it takes me forever. I started this a year ago, maybe even more so, and I'm finishing just now, and I get better as it goes along. The process refines, and so then they don't look the same. That happened with my Zodiac girls as well, but I still love each and every one of them. Now, because I am an artist and a small business owner, I have to plug my shit. So, that could be kind of gross. I have to plug my socials. But anyway, so I do post here on my YouTube. If you like what you see and you want to see more, or just see the stuff that's already there, please like, comment, subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Feel free to also follow Instagram or TikTok. There is more art and more content over there. So if you're interested in seeing the rest of my stuffs, the stickers and whatnot that I make, check that out. I also have linked my Etsy store where I sell stickers and not prints anymore, but I also have jewelry listed there as well. And I have lots and lots of stickers. Let me tell you that. And anyway, back to the piece. I love hopping around. I am using my white gel pen. This one is a Jelly Roll gel pen. Sometimes I use a Uniball Signo, but I have a love-hate relationship with white gel pens, and I cannot seem to find one that works all the time. I hop back and forth between both. The two brands. Anyway, if you know one that works all the time that you don't have any problems with, hit me up because I would love it. I've also tried certain paint pens too, and they're just not the best. Anyway, here she is. She is done. I forgot I had little tattoos on her arm, so I include another clip of her with the tattoos. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and have a fantastic day.